Hello, welcome to Watan al-Karama News Service. It is 9 p.m. our time for top stories, and we start with latest developments and top news items from Libya. Parliament Speaker Aguila Saleh Guaider held a meeting with the UN envoy to Libya, Martin Kobler. Guaider also held another meeting with the parliament members who have boycotted the parliament sessions, including Mustafa Abu Shakur and Suleiman al-Fiqi, in the presence of the UN envoy to Libya. Moreover, Guaider and Kobler met a number of parliament members who are attending meetings of the parliament at the headquarters of the industrial areas in Shahat. Head of the Presidential Council of National Unity Government, Faiz Sarraja, met the parliament members for the Western region following the dispute over the position of the foreign minister between him and his deputy Ahmed Maatig, a dispute that was one of the main reasons behind the postponing of announcement of the government for 2 days. A parliamentary source said Sarraj informed the parliament that he will travel to Algeria, then he will return to continue the parliament meetings, informing the government. According to sources, such a surprise visit raises many questions about its relationship with the government formation. A spokesman for the interim government, Hatem Al-Arabi, said that the political gap is the greatest threat to the unity and territorial integrity of Libya, stressing that the deterioration of the political solution reduced the chances of stability in the country. He noted that the outgoing Congress is the main reason behind Daesh expansion, which in turn took advantage of political corruption in order to stretch and spread. He noted that the outgoing Congress was busy with other things, leaving the terrorist Daesh groups distribute its extreme thoughts in several areas of Libya. A local source from Derna confirmed that heavy battle broke out between Derna Yathus and terrorist Daesh elements at Al-400 district in the east coast area. The source said that Derna Yath stormed into districts of As-Salat and El-Wirish Street, which is controlled by Daesh militants, where clashes erupted. The Yath managed to take control of several important positions and buildings which Daesh snipers was holed up. Terrorist Daesh group kills a security man in Sirte on the grounds that he is one of the Spotishes belonging to state security bodies. Witnesses said that one of the elements of the Supreme Security Committee in Sirte, named Hamad al-Musrati, was shot killed by the elements of the terrorist Daesh group in Zafaran Island before Al-Maghrib prayers. Susi fighter, which follows Omar al-Mukhtar operations, managed to seize a ship in the prohibited areas of the shores of Ras al-Hilal, west of Derna city. Captain Muhammad al-Mahjdub said that the ship was monitored and seized off Ras al-Hilal coast, which is regarded as the prohibited area by the Seaworld Organization and by the Libyan authorities. He noted that 14 people on board were arrested, including 12 Syrians and 2 Indians. Moreover, he stressed that the investigation confirmed that it was carrying an expired wheat. Minister for Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation Mohammed Al-Dairi chaired the Libyan delegation to the 10-committee summit of the African Union on the reform of the UN Security Council. Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation Ministry stressed that the summit was held in the Namibian capital during the period from the 13th to the 15th of January in the presence of the heads of the state of Namibia, Sierra Leone, Equatorial Guinea and Zambia, stressing that the heads of delegations agreed on continuing efforts to mobilize support in order to get a permanent seat for the African continent in the Security Council. And now, my audience, we transfer to the Arab arena, and our item now from Iraq. Iraqi forces had almost recaptured most of the city of Ramadi, an army spokesman said, and they were fighting to recapture the northwest eastern parts of the city, where militants of the terrorist Daesh group were still hiding out. Backed by air cover from the international coalition and Iraqi Air Force, troops of the counter-terrorism forces recently captured As Sofia. The militants were pushed to Ramadi's eastern suburbs, but almost all of the city, which was battered by U.S.-led airstrikes against terrorist Daesh group, remains off limits to its nearly 500,000 displaced residents, most of whom fled before the army advance. Major Salam Khalid of counter-terrorism forces said, "We killed 90 terrorists inside Sofia district, and we have information that a group of 4 or 5 terrorists is hiding in Sofia district, and we are still searching for them." Iraqi troops pushed deeper into the heart of last remaining district held by Daesh group in the city of Ramadi, despite being slowed by bomb and traps. 4 people were killed and several others injured today when a suicide car bomb exploded outside the home of the director of the security for the southern Yemeni port city of Aden. Eyewitnesses and medics said the 4 men killed were guards for Brigadier General Shalal Ali Shaya, who survived a car bomb attack on his convoy on January 4 amid an escalating wave of assassination against security forces in the city. The government of President Abdurrabbu Mansour Hadi has been grappling with lawlessness there since militiamen backed by Saudi-led Arab military alliance drove the Iranian-allied Houthi groups out in July. Yemen descended into a civil war last March when the Houthi forces led Hadi to flee to Saudi Arabia after they closed it on Aden, drawing a Saudi-led coalition into the Yemeni conflict. Alliance and anti-Houthi forces seized Aden from Houthis over the summer, but have yet to impose control in the city, where militants and other gunmen have a prominent presence. And now we transfer to Afghanistan. A suicide bomber killed 13 people in the eastern Afghan city of Jalalabad today, the home of a tribal elder when people had gathered to celebrate their son's release from Taliban captivity. Local officials said today the son was killed and at least 14 people, including his father, were wounded in the attack, according to Ayatollah Qajiani, a spokesman for the provincial governor. There was no immediate claim of responsibility. A Taliban spokesman on his Twitter page denied responsibility for the attack. There have been several bomb blasts in Afghanistan over recent weeks, at a time when efforts are underway to restart the peace process with the Taliban. Terrorist Daesh group in the same city last week claimed their first attack on a major urban center in Afghanistan with an assault on the Pakistani consulate that killed 7 people. And finally, from Burkina Faso and Mali have agreed to work together to counter the growing threat of the militants in West Africa by sharing intelligence and conducting joint security patrols following 2 deadly and well-coordinated attacks in the region. Their prime ministers met today, 2 days after the Al-Qaeda militants seized the splendid hotel in Burkina Faso's capital, Ouagadougou, opened fire on a restaurant and attacked another hotel nearby, killing at least 28 people from at least 7 countries and wounding 50 other people. The assault claimed by Al-Qaeda in the Islamic Maghreb, AQIM, follows a similar raid in November on a luxury hotel in Mali's capital, Bamako, which killed 20 people, including citizens of Russia, China, and the United States. The exact details of the cooperation between Burkina Faso and Mali were not immediately clear when the patrols and intelligence sharing mark an intent by the 2 countries to prevent the spread of the militancy. My audience, that is the wrap-up of our top stories for today. For much more, you can check our website, www.watanelkarama.tv. Thanks very much for being with us. My greeting, رانيا البليدى.
وطن الكرامة، منبر الحق وكرامة الوطن.